Welcome back to another episode of FPL Hive, and today we are going to be ranking the top 10 most transferred in players, and we are going to be telling you if you should buy, wait a week, or avoid for game week 2 before bringing them in. But before we get started, make sure you guys like the video, comment your thoughts on our opinions on these players, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, guys, don't forget the notification bell, otherwise I'm going to be angry and I might disappear from YouTube again, and you don't want that to happen. But anyway, let's get started. So the first player we are going to be talking about is Ekitike from Liverpool. Tyrone, give me your thoughts. Should we buy? Should we wait a week? Or should we just avoid completely?
I'm going to go with avoid for 2 more weeks at least. Wait a week would be close, but I'm going to go with avoid. I believe that obviously he's had a good start in the first game at home to Bournemouth, but they have Newcastle away on a Monday night. We know the atmosphere is going to be mental there. You know, the Isaac situation. Ekitike at the moment, we don't know if it's going to be a consistent basis that he's going to score. One positive, I think, for Ekitike owners is that he looks like he's always involved. But they've got Liverpool away and then Arsenal at home next. And you know, Arsenal looked a bit fragile against Manchester United. I'm going to go avoid, wait, and analyse from game week 4 onwards where they get Burnley and the fixtures change in their favour.
I don't know, because I think with Ekitike, I'll be honest, I was surprised about how good he was. Like, one thing that we always knew was how good Ekitike is at dropping deep, collecting, like linking up, playing it. But I feel like he gave Liverpool a real box presence at the same time as well, up top, innit? So that's why, if people want to get ahead, I wouldn't mind it. But at the same time, like Isaac signing, I don't know if it's going to happen. It might happen, it might not. If it doesn't happen, then obviously bring Ekitike in straight away. Because for 8.5 or 8.6 now, because I think his price has risen,
his price has gone up.
He could be an absolute bargain. But I think for now, I would avoid. So the next player is Reinders, the most transferred in player in FPL so far, already up to 5.6 million. Tyrone, what are your thoughts?
I love Reinders. I can't believe I'm on an FPL channel that I own with you and Harj, and I haven't got him. It makes me sick. I had him in draft after draft after draft, and last minute I went with Anderson, which I'm happy about. But if you're on the Reinders train, then I think it's a buy. You've got Tottenham at home next. We all know that Tottenham are under a new manager, under a new regime, and I believe that Reinders is going to play. He was guaranteed 90 minutes on the weekend. Other players have subbed before him because he's an engine, because he's got the all-round game, because he's up and down, and he played further forward than I thought he would. Now, look, he's got competition from Foden, Marmoush, and other players in them areas. Could it be a pet roulette situation? Potentially. However, I think with the legs and the dynamicness of Reinders, he's always going to be involved. He's always going to play. And for me, I think he is a buy. You know, you look at City's fixtures and it doesn't look as bad as, you know, what people might think it is because they're going to score goals. And he looks like a player that's going to be involved. For 5.6 million, now his price has gone up. Get him because soon he's going to be 6 million.
Yeah, I hear everything you're saying. I think Reinders is a phenomenal midfielder. Obviously, I think he got voted Syria best midfielder last year, innit? There's no doubt about his quality. But I also think there's a part of me that thinks he's too good in that he can play the 6, he can play the 8, he can play the 10. I think the setup on the weekend suited him in terms of Nico Gonzalez was there. Bernardo Silva obviously helped to build up, dropping a bit deeper. And then obviously Rico Lewis inverted and Ait-Nouri was almost like the third centre-back in build-up. So I think he was platformed brilliantly for Reinders to perform. Is that going to be the same case going forward? Like, we know
there definitely is. There definitely is going to be rotation issues for Reinders in terms of playing in that role. However, one thing that I think is nailed on about him is that he's a starter. So whether you're playing as a 6, whether you're playing as an 8, whether you're playing as a 10 for City, we've seen over the years that Rodri can score goals. Gundogan has scored goals. You know, Bernardo Silva has scored goals. And Reinders, with his natural habits to break lines forward with his runs and arriving in the box late, driving with the ball, wherever he is on a pitch, he's going to get points. So he's a buy.
I don't know, because I still think like there's a possibility. Like we saw it in the Club World Cup, he was the one receiving the ball off the back line. If that makes sense, doesn't it? So that obviously limits what people are buying for, because people buying him for the goal for it.
Yeah,
those late runs into the box. I think last year in Syria he got 10 goals as well, innit?
Yeah, but so, for 5.6 million, but 5.6 million, if he's in your squad, even if you start him some games, he's on the bench sometimes. He's a lock-in.
But this is what I'm saying. Like, would you not rather wait a week just for you so you have more information on how Pep Guardiola is going to set up going forward? Because remember, like, this is Pep Guardiola we're talking about. Who
first home game to Tottenham, or could you get him if it doesn't affect your value too much, and then if it doesn't work out, you can then assess further down the line. First home game, winning 4-0, you're playing him in the advanced role. You're not changing that.
Yeah, but the thing is, in terms of value, a lot of people might be switching a 5.5 to obviously him. They've already lost that aspect because Reinders is now 5.6. So realistically, the only thing you're going to be doing is downgrading a 6 million or a 6.5 down to Reinders. You still have time to wait now because you've already missed that price rise.
Wait a week.
See, I've got Tyrone manipulated kind of thing. I don't know if that's the word. Persuaded, that's the word, isn't it? But also another thing of Reinders, you know, his expected goal involvement on the weekend was less than Anderson's. So a lot of people obviously, a lot of people are quite reactionary in saying Reinders is an unbelievable pick, best 5.5.
Anderson was really close.
He was one away. So I'm not saying, listen, Reinders is better than Anderson the other way around, but I'm just saying I think waiting a week, getting more information is probably more ideal on this. The next one is Semenyo. I think a lot of people probably avoided Bournemouth attackers just because of that opening day fixture against Liverpool, but Semenyo got 2. So what do you think, Tyrone?
Buy. No questions about it. Bournemouth fixtures now suit them to perfection. They're going to score goals. They're going to be involved in entertaining games. And Semenyo, for me, is now part of that. You know, he's the link, I feel like, between midfield and attack for them. He's always involved in ball transitions, ball carries, creating, finishing, you know, left foot, right foot, manipulation of the ball. He's just one of them players because the way he plays, a bit like Eze, but even better in terms of the way he carries the ball and dribbles. It's so hard to get the ball off him. He's always going to be involved. He's always going to be on that pitch for basically 90 minutes. You know, left foot, right foot, can play on either side. Him and Evanilson now, I would be looking at. And I think Evanilson is probably one of the most underrated strikers in the Premier League now in terms of FPL going forward. And we might not talk about him in this video. We might talk about him. However, if you wanted a differential, that's the person I'm going to say, Evanilson. But yeah, Semenyo, that's a buy. 7.1 million. Great fixtures now for the next 6-7 weeks. I don't know really what else to say. He's the catalyst between the midfield link and Evanilson for me. So he's part of the build-up in everything they do now.
Yeah, just quickly on Semenyo, Bournemouth have Wolves at home next, Tottenham away, which is a good maybe transitional fixture, potentially, depending on how Thomas Frank sets up. Brighton at home, Newcastle at home, Leeds away as the next 5. That's a good set of fixtures. And just quickly on Semenyo as well. Last season, he had the 4th most shots in the Premier League. Like, we might say he might be a bit wasteful. He might need to improve in front of goal, but at least he's taking shots. And that's obviously a massive positive for FPL. But other than that, Semenyo is a buy. So the next player is Chris Wood. 2 goals on the weekend. I think probably a player that got massively overlooked by the FPL community because Nottingham Forest weren't the best in pre-season going forward. But for me, I think he's a buy. I think if you're looking at Nottingham Forest's fixtures, they have Crystal Palace away next, which might be a bit tough. West Ham at home, Arsenal away, then Burnley and Sunderland, the 2 newly promoted sides. And I think with Chris Wood, a lot of people are probably going to look at he might not take enough shots. But what we've seen from Chris Wood, what we saw from Chris Wood last year, he don't really need to take that many shots. His conversion rate in front of goal is very, very good. I think on the weekend, again, he only had 2 shots in the box. He scored 2 goals. That's what you need from Chris Wood. I know like Chris Wood is like an anomaly in terms of his data is never brilliant in terms of XG, but he just gets those FPL points. So Tyrone, what do you think?
Gets the job done. Plays every game. On penalties as well. Yeah, Chris Wood. I think if Forest lack goals in general, but if Forest are going to score goals, 80% of that source is coming through Chris Wood. So get on it. And look, Forest have had a struggling window, but they're going to get better now. Dan and Doy's come in. They've got Callum Mwendo in from France. They've got McAtee coming in. So their creation rate in behind Chris Wood should go up. Get on it early before you miss the boat.
So the next player is Daniel Ballard from Sunderland. This shocked me. I cannot believe he's the 5th most transfer player in for Game Week 2. Don't get me wrong. He got a 17-pointer against West Ham. He scored a goal. DEFCON monster, because we even saw it in the Championship playoff final last year. But at the same time, how many clean sheets do we realistically expect Sunderland to keep? Not a lot. I think this is probably one where what are people doing? That's just my only opinion.
You know what? You've just got to avoid. People are just trying to jump on the excitement. I don't know what it is that they've seen. Obviously, he scored, but come on, avoid. It's a waste of a transfer rather than a transfer gained.
Nothing much needs to be said. Avoid. So the next player is Erling Haaland. Obviously got 2 goals on the weekend. Another 2 big chances missed. I think he had an XG of over 2. Tyrone, what are your thoughts?
If you have Mohamed Salah, I'm going to say wait a week. Just, don't panic. Both of them, it's like Reinders and Anderson. Both of them gave you points. Salah, Haaland, they gave you points. You came into FPL with a plan. You had 4 or 5 weeks to think about it since FPL dropped. If you've gone with Salah, stick with Salah, because at the end of the day, they've got Newcastle away. He can still get points. They've got Arsenal at home. They can still get points. And Salah's a big game player. After that, his fixtures do swing, and Salah could then be a goal machine. Haaland, we know that he's going to play every week. If you haven't got him and haven't got Salah and went for a differential, I feel like getting Haaland in now would benefit your whole season, because you're not really going to take him out. So if you have Salah, hold on Salah, keep Haaland on wait a week, and just analyze the situation, even though, yes, you're probably scared that every time he touches the pitch, he might score. But unfortunately, you can't have everyone. It's FPL.
I agree. I think with Erling Haaland as well, he only got 5 more points than Salah, if that makes sense, innit? Like, don't get me wrong, he outscored Salah, but at the same time, like you said, where everyone's only on 1 free transfer right now. To bring in Haaland, you're probably going to have to make 2 or 3 transfers just to restructure a side to bring him in.
Exactly.
I don't think that's worth it at this early stage. Haaland outscored Salah this week. Well done to Erling Haaland. Well done to anyone that went there. But I think right now, you just have to probably wait a week just so you bank another transfer, just so you don't have to take a -4 if you do want to bring in Erling Haaland. So right now, Erling Haaland, wait a week. So the next player is Mohamed Kudus from Spurs. 2 assists on the weekend. I'll be honest, I'm still leaning towards slightly avoid, but I'm not really sure. Because the thing is, one of the assists, by the way, was an absolute beautiful goal by Richarlison. Something that is less so about Kudus' creative impact. It was more about Richarlison's brilliance.
Finish.
And I think with Spurs, I kind of want to see a bit more going forward under Thomas Frank, really, to be honest. They have City next, which City, listen, they can be got at defensively, but they're still one of the better defenses in the league. Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton, Wolves. So they do have good fixtures.
And that is why I think I'm going to convince you on this one, because you look at Man City, Tottenham. One, there's actually an upside to having Kudus in now this week if you wanted to, because we know that Tottenham and Man City is normally high entertaining, high scoring games. We know it's a different manager now. That might change. We'll see. But he has to go and wait a week. I'm so sorry, but when you look at them fixtures, Tottenham, Bournemouth, West Ham, Tottenham, which is a big rivalry anyway, but the West Ham are in trouble this year. They've conceded 3 to Sunderland. They've got Chelsea next, who could then score more and lower their confidence. Then you've got Brighton, Tottenham. We know that's going to be an open, entertaining game. Tottenham, Wolves at home after that, and then Leeds away. I'm sorry, but what I'm going to say to you now is, he is wait a week and then you buy, because you've potentially got Eze coming in. You potentially got Semenyo coming in. The team's going to be better. The chance creation is going to be more. Kudus is heavily involved, works hard, gets forward, up and down. I'm sorry, Solanke is going to be even more fitter. Wait a week and buy. The fixtures are too good to avoid.
I think there's a potential, though. Once Eze, Semenyo come in, he could be getting early subs. Because still at the likes of Brennan Johnson, Mateus Tell.
Not Kudus, not because, not the way he plays, the high energy, the dynamicness. There's certain attackers, for example, at Man United, Cunha, they play 90 minutes because they can impact the game in the first minute and the 90th minute. Their energy levels are so high. Eze, he's a sub potential because he can play to 70, 75 minutes, but he isn't really going to maybe give you any more after that. So for me, Kudus is 90 minutes, plays on that right-hand side, and the fixtures are too good to avoid. Wait a week.
You know what, Tyrone? I'm going to go with you. I'm going to say Kudus, wait a week. So the next player is his Tottenham teammate, Richarlison. Tyrone, 2 goals on the weekend. What do you think?
The upside of Kudus is not the upside of Richarlison. If I'm Richarlison, it's an avoid. I think by the time 2 weeks comes around, Solanke is going to be even fitter. Solanke is going to be guaranteed the minutes. Solanke is going to be starting football matches. And at FPL, with the money that you spend, you beggars can't be choosers. You need to be smart in the market, and Richarlison would not be a smart decision. Simple as that.
I agree. Richarlison, avoid. So the next player is Ait-Nouri, a 9.0 on the weekend. He actually got DEFCON points, which I think caught a lot of people off guard. Tyrone, what are your thoughts on Ait-Nouri?
I was going to go wait a week. I'm going to go avoid. Not because I don't believe in Ait-Nouri. I just don't quite believe in the fixtures yet. Tottenham, Brighton away, Man United at home, Arsenal away. There's no guarantee of clean sheets in any of those games. So then you're relying on Defcoin points, you're relying on assists and potentially him getting forward. And I just think with Gvardiol not there at the moment and could return, I'm not saying he'll be benched, but we just don't know about the City setup and tactically how they're going to be playing at the moment. He was basically a third centre-back if anyone saw the pitch data on the weekend, where you normally expect Ait-Nouri to be flying forward. So that already takes away something from this game at the moment. So I'm going to go with Void.
And I think another thing that caught me off guard with that third centre-back role that he did took, that probably suits Gvardiol a bit more in terms of Gvardiol's passing ability kind of thing, isn't it? Which is why I'm like, I'm going to say avoid because I want to see more of how this City team set up, especially once Gvardiol's fit. But for now, it has to be a avoid. I think it's too risky. The 10th most transferred in player this week is Matty Cash. Obviously, his teammate Konsa got sent off. So I've seen a lot of people make that Konsa to Cash switch. Tyrone, what are your thoughts on that?
I've got Konsa, so I can't say that I don't like Villa's fixtures because I've got Konsa in for sort of the longer term, whereas a lot of other people didn't really have Konsa in. I'm just always unsure with Cash. Always a moment away from a yellow card, even though Konsa got sent off. Is he guaranteed starts as well? I don't know. I'm not going to tell anyone to buy him because I don't think there's anyone worth taking him out for in your current setup teams, I'm guessing, to bring in Cash. I don't think there's much of an upside where you can use Semenyo, Wood. There's a 4, 5 weeks, 6 weeks upside. So with Cash, I'm going to go with Void because nothing in my gut tells me, bring him in straight away. I can understand if you maybe go wait a week, though.
I'll be honest, I think it's a Void. I think a lot of people obviously making that Konsa to Cash switch. I think if I had Konsa in my team, I would just bench him because a lot of people probably have Estevere from Burnley on the bench or Sunderland this week. I'll probably just play him. I don't see the upside with Cash really. I think especially when you get in a fullback, you probably expect like attacking returns. Last season, he only got 1 goal, 1 assist. The year before that, 2 goals, 2 assists. So the attacking potential is not really there with Matty Cash kind of thing, innit? Which is why 100%. I would just say avoid.
So that is our top 10 transfers in opinion this week on FPL Hive. Buy, wait a week, avoid. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you agree with me and Baines or do you disagree? FPL Game Week 2, smash a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. This is FPL Hive.